A lot of people ask me how many ads you need to run, and this is a pretty big one because you can't just run one ad on Facebook. You can, but it's idiotic to say the least. And again, not that anyone's an idiot. I did the same thing. So it's when you realize why, then it becomes idiotic if you ignore it. So what I like to do is have at least 4 ads running. If I've had campaigns where I'm running 500 ads before, and you can have 500 ads in one campaign running, but they're really only going to show about 4 to 6, maybe 8 if you're lucky. But they're kind of split testing them for you. So if you have a campaign of 10, 5 of them or so are really not going to get shown. But having 4 is kind of a good way to test, based on how you're breaking it up in your campaign. So if I want to, test 4 different images like I have here, or 4 different headlines, or 4 different body copies. I like to have a minimum of 4. And I like to have 4 different images just to see kind of off the bat which one's getting the highest click-through rate, the lowest cost, who's getting shown the most, and that way then I can sub the other ones out. So what I like to do is have 4 with another backup of 4 or more, and a lot of times I'll have way more than that. I'll have 20 or 50, and just, it's time intensive to go in and make them. But Facebook makes it pretty easy to go in and create a similar ad, and you can just pop new ones in there with new targeting, new headlines, new images. So if this were my campaign and I was targeting baseball coaches for my hitting product, this is how I'd set it up with a bunch of different pictures, different headlines, different texts, and I'd label those images, I'd label those ads in the back end in the actual ad name, so I knew, okay, this ad had this headline, it had this image, then I can go, and I don't have to click into each ad and go see how it's doing. So if this is how I was running it, the biggest 4 images or 4 ads that you're seeing here would get all the displays for that day, and then I would kind of weed them out. So if the bottom left and the bottom right ad, they really weren't doing well, their click-through rate was under 1% or under 0.5%, then I would pause those and start up 2 other ones and just keep testing. And I'd find 4 good ones that are working, or just a couple that are working if I only have a couple. Let those ones do their thing and run for a little while and keep an eye on it, and when the click-through rate starts to drop, then I would pause those and start back up the other ones. That's really how I keep my campaigns running. I have a lot of ads running at the same time. I pause the ones that aren't performing right now, let the other ones run. When the other ones kind of die down, then I start up the other ones, and it's kind of just an endless cycle, and it works really, really well. So that's what you want to do, is just make sure that your click-through rate is pretty high on most of your ads, because that's really going to affect your click-through rate. It's going to affect your cost per click. So this is kind of how I would set it up if I were you. So if you only have 1 ad running right now, or 2 or 3, go make a couple different versions, and you will see what I'm talking about.